Hello, Thomas Hallock here, University of South Florida in St. Petersburg. I want to talk just very quickly about anthologies. Very often students think about anthologies in kind of a passive way. This is the knowledge that I must receive. This is what I must know in order to get an A. You don't really think of the textbook or especially the anthology as something that is created, that is constructed, that tells a story. It becomes a little bit easier to see if we look at, say, older anthologies like Major American Writers, edited by Howard Mumford Jones. Perfectly good anthology. But if you notice, this anthology from the 30s, 40s has a line of all English-speaking white men: John Smith, Edward Taylor, William Byrd, Jonathan Edwards, Benjamin Franklin, and so on. This was the story in early America, pretty much through the 80s when I went. The Norton Anthology was always the one that we went to, and pretty much guilty of replicating much that same narrative. Then what happened in the Heath Anthology of Early American or American Literature came out and provided a much broader sense of voices of Native people, people of color, women, queer voices, and started looking at the multiplicity of traditions we may explore in early America and the importance of reading them in comparison. Who is silenced? Whose voice do we hear? How do the forces of colonialism or colonization impinge upon the stories that that person could tell, of what we could hear from early America? Around 25 years ago, then there was this explosion of textbook. We had like 3 different come out all at one time. We had Michael Warner and Michael Warner and Myra Jelen looking at the English literatures of America, how the Americas were seen through the European angle. We had a kind of more multicultural perspective coming from Carla Mulford and some of her graduate students, looking at the different voices from the Americas. Then there were hemispheric approaches, comparing Latin America and South America and North America, and the two. In each of these cases, we get very different stories, and it continued we have women's voices in early America, voices of the Old South, Caribbeana, environmental literature. I mean, I have more that I could keep coming, but I'm getting this pile by my feet. What do I want you to take away from this? Again, don't look at knowledge. Don't look at these textbooks in a passive way. Ask yourself, what were the ideological or political forces impinging upon the story being told? What are the market forces being considered? So for instance, some of these anthologies, the publisher that had to require them to get it in under 400 pages, so they couldn't include anyone. They couldn't include everyone. Price drives up the value of textbooks. What are the very, very local decisions? Your professor might assign a text because, I don't know, he or she wrote her dissertation or his dissertation or thesis on this given author, and that's why you're reading a lot of that author. Again, ask yourself, what is the story being told and why? There are lifetimes of reading in early America. Why have you been given this particular selection? Those are the questions that I think you should answer. Thanks, or ask. Bye-bye.